Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to prepare healthy meals for the week. I won't be steaming any veggies or making any boring or bland food. Also, you won't be eating the same meal all week. There's so many spices out there, and I'm going to be using some of them in my meal so my food is bursting with flavor. Spices awaken your senses and make eating so much more enjoyable. Planning meals this way is easy on your body and your budget. It avoids spur-of-the-moment runs to a store or a fast food joint. I'll admit I've gone out and bought a fried chicken sandwich and french fries when I had absolutely no food in the fridge. The last thing I want to do is cook when I'm already really hungry. Being prepared is key to maintaining a healthy lifestyle. To make it easier for you, I've included a shopping list with all the items that I've used in my meal plan. And you can find that in the description below. You may already have some of the spices and condiments that I have on my list, but if you don't, you buy it this week and you won't have to buy it again for a while. Remember, cooking should be fun, so even if you're missing a spice, go ahead and make these recipes. I'm sure it'll taste just as good. So let's get to the cooking. I always set a timer, especially when I'm making multiple meals. This way I don't burn anything in the oven. This is about 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs that I've washed. Chop 4 garlic cloves, on the chicken pour a tablespoon of olive oil, tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of ground black pepper, and half the chopped garlic. Save the other half, we'll use it later. Add a teaspoon of paprika and mix really well. Bake at 425 degrees for 30 minutes or until cooked. I forgot to add the paprika earlier, so I pulled out the chicken and added it later. This is a 2.5 pound boneless pork loin roast. I chose this cut because it's lean but has a little bit of fat. Pork that's too lean often ends up dry and very hard to swallow. In this bowl I have 1 teaspoon each ground black pepper, salt, garlic powder, and coriander powder. In my hand I have a teaspoon of dry thyme. Just rub it in your hands to release the oils and add it to the spice bowl. Mix up the spices and rub it all over the pork. Press the spices onto the pork. Heat 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil in a pan that's oven safe. Cast iron is awesome for searing meat. When the oil is very hot, put the pork fat side down. You want to sear the roast on all sides to get that beautiful brown color. Check it after a minute and turn it over. It should be brown and crusty. Brown the side for another minute and the last side for a minute. Put the pan in the same 425 degree oven as the chicken. It should cook in about 30 minutes. The time depends on your oven and the size of your roast. I have 2 heads of broccoli. Remove any small leaves. Cut the stalk off and slice up the florets. Heat up a pan with 2 tablespoons olive oil and add the other half of the chopped garlic that we saved earlier. Stir for a minute and add half a teaspoon of red chili flakes. If you don't like it too spicy, use a 1/4 teaspoon of the chili flakes. Stir and add the broccoli. Sprinkle with a half a teaspoon of salt and stir well. Cook for 5 minutes, stirring occasionally. Test for doneness with a knife or grab a piece of broccoli and put it in your mouth. Cook longer if you'd like and taste for salt. I love broccoli this way. It's spicy, salty, and garlicky. It's so simple to make but so tasty. On to the next vegetable, a red cabbage slaw. We need 1/4 of a yellow onion sliced thinly. You can save the rest of the onion in the fridge for another time. Put the sliced onion in a big bowl. Pour a bit less than a 1/4 cup of olive oil, a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 2 teaspoons sugar, 1/2 teaspoon ground black pepper. Rub 1 teaspoon of celery seed in your hand and drop that in. Lastly, add a teaspoon of mustard. Mix well and add to the sliced onions. We'll need 1/2 of this red cabbage. You can save the other 1/2 in your refrigerator and saute it up later. Mix the chopped cabbage with the onions and set aside. The slaw tastes better the longer it sits. And finally, our last dish, pasta to go with our chicken and broccoli. Boil water in a large pot and add a 1/2 pound of egg noodles or your favorite pasta. Stir occasionally and cook until tender. Drain and leave aside. The chicken is done and it's sitting in really flavorful liquid. We'll make a quick gravy for the noodles. Stir a teaspoon of cornstarch with 1 teaspoon of water. This is our slurry to thicken the gravy. Pour the juices from the chicken into a pan and add 1/2 cup of low sodium chicken stock. I use low sodium so I can control the amount of salt in my dish. Bring to a boil and pour in the slurry. Stir and cook just for a minute. Turn off the heat and add the drained noodles. Stir well. Taste and add salt or pepper as needed. After 30 minutes, pull the pork out of the oven. Press down with your finger, and if it is close to firm, it's done. You could use a meat thermometer and safely take it out at 145 degrees, according to the USDA. Remember, the temperature of the pork will rise a few degrees when it's resting on your counter. Move the roast to a plate and cover with foil. Let it rest for 10 minutes. Put the roast on your cutting board and slice. See, it's really juicy and perfectly cooked. I love the crusty end piece. It's so good. The roast and cabbage slaw are a great combination. I don't eat a starch with this because I find it to be an already hearty meal. So here's the even tastier part of the meals. Heat up a whole wheat wrap and add the chicken and broccoli chopped up really small. Top with salsa and low-fat Greek yogurt or sour cream. Fold it up for a delicious wrap and it doesn't taste like leftovers. As for the pork leftovers, chop up the meat into small pieces and heat up in a pan. Add barbecue sauce and mix. The smell alone will drive you crazy. Heat up whole wheat hamburger buns, fill with pork, and pile on the cabbage slaw. This is the closest thing to a pulled pork sandwich without spending hours making it. As for storage, I use these glass containers. They're great in the microwave, freezer, or refrigerator. I prefer the glass containers to the plastic because I don't want to put the plastic in the microwave if I'm heating up food. If you get a set of the containers, they're really handy for meal prep and will last you a very long time. Links to these containers, as well as any kitchen tools that I've used in the recipes, are in the description below. Stay tuned for a healthy snacks video to go with these healthy meals. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if it helped you in planning your meals. Please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.